Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I am Godless Reggie. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully well. And this is NJ. How are you today, NJ? You gotta unmute yourself.
You know what? It's not going to sound as good as it did before I hit the unmute button. It's not going to sound as good, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. So I am fabulous today. And I'm working on a little character development. And I would like to introduce everybody to my latest and greatest character. Her name is Semi. Uh, she grapples with the idea of calling herself a her, but a her is what she is. She a her. But anyway, the point is we are working on character development today of Semi. So what comes out of my mouth may not be my responsibility, but I am here. I am here for the entertainment of my personal pimp daddy, Reggie, who keeps me abreast of the conversation, because I be getting lost having conversations out there on the internet, because them people, they be all over the place. What the hell? But thank you as we watch Semi develop.
I appreciate you, NJ. Thank you. So today's topic is the pre-colonial Mayan religion, right? What made me think about this is a couple different conversations that I was a part of, right? That really didn't even have too much to do with the Mayans per se. But a friend of mine, he had sent me some information about a content creator that he figured that I would like him, right? And I do. He hit it dead on, right? And this lady, she's a black girl. She's a black girl, and she said something that struck me, right? She said, "Y'all claim to be Native American, well, Indian, which is the improper term, by the way, but that's a different story." But she's like, "Y'all claim to be Native American, to be FBA, whatever. Why y'all believe in the Bible?" And she said that, and I'm like, "Whoa, what is?" I mean, I'm thinking about. She's like, "Because they didn't believe in that. They worship the sun and X, Y, Z, and all this other shit." I said, "That's true." Then I had got into a conversation on TikTok with some actual real natives. We were having a little bit of a dispute about kind of like genealogy. Then NJ texted me just with something up, and it just said Mayans, and it all clicked. I said, okay, well, since people feel like they want to be Native Americans so much, that seems like that's the latest trend. We've been here forever. I mean, it's not just black people; it's everyone that's into it now. So I'm not trying to pinpoint anyone per se, but it seems like that's like one of the biggest trends lately. So I figure, hey, if people want to do that, at least we can educate them on what religion they possibly could have been, depending on what region they're from. When I was speaking with the natives yesterday about the genealogy, one thing that they had explained to me and made it clear that they had been trading with different tribes up and down Turtle Island for thousands of years, and they noted to evidence of that, and their evidence of that was cocoa beans. So
And and why they say thousands of years, I don't understand. If humans have been here for millennia, why do they think they only started moving about thousands of years ago? That's the part that keeps getting me lost in the time frame. When people have these discussions and these arguments, and I ask them according to what time frame, and they always come up with these crazy dates, and I'd be like, well, according to which calendar? Because if you go by the Gregorian calendar, it's actually this date. I don't care what the plaques told you. I don't care what the history teacher made you pick between A, B, C, and D. I don't care. The only calendar being used at that time would have been this, and this would have been the date. And at the same time that's going on, all of these other things around the planet was going on, not just what Massa wrote down in his books about his experience. And that is where you are getting lost in the conversation with people. They stuck in Masses' books.
I agree. I would think, me just guessing, I don't know what was on the person's mind who actually said it. What it made me think of possibly is that's to their understanding, which I get. Because if you were to say, well, we've been trading with each other for billions of years, right? And you would note to that same, you know, thing as evidence, mm, maybe not. Maybe not. Because you can't really prove, how long it was in North America, and things like that. So I think that he was just maybe just saying to his knowledge. I gave it to him, and I wasn't going to dispute that because I know that the cocoa bean and things like that, the cocoa plant, chocolate, whatever the fuck you want to call it, has spread out. It's been to every continent. It's been in Africa for a long time too. Long time.
Ooh,
Long time.
long, long, long time. Matter of fact, it kind of thrives there. It kind of thrives there a lot better than they thought. And then you don't have to tear down so much rainforest to plant more fields of it because it thrives so well over there where it's not jungle. It's already not jungle. So I don't understand why they keep clearing rainforests to. Oh, that's right. Never mind. They keep saying it's for roads. That's right. I'm gonna shut up. I keep forgetting. They keep saying it's for roads.
True. True. Now, what I would like to have an explanation to is how long has it been in Africa? Now, that's what I want to. I've never done the research on it or whatever. I never really looked into
Oh
it,
well,
but
see, that's when you start following the tribe wars. You got to follow the wars of the tribes, and unfortunately, you're always going to get the perspective of Caucasians as they traveled through and paid natives in whatever way to guide them on their travels.
true. The reason why I want to know is because if you can prove that it's from South America and you can prove that it was there before the 1400s, that opens up a different door. It opens up a
Oh,
different door because now you got to explain how it got there.
oh, oh. And, you know, since they have a website that gives you the exact passage, name, and cargo of all these ships that did all this travel, of course, they got them all. It's a website. You know, why have the data available if you don't have all of it? But anyway, I'm digressing in the thought process. You would think they would be able to find the exact ship that took this miracle cocoa bean that the scientists have been following.
I
You
mean,
would think
I haven't really looked
you
into it.
I mean, if you follow the narratives of the what do they call them, diplomatic emissaries, you know, the ones that went from castle to castle looking for hospitality, saying, hey, my royal house would like to offer to your royal house, and in the meantime, would you give me some food and drink and give me a bed for the night before I move on to the next house to make the same requests?
That's true. That's true. But the reason why I'm saying that again is because if you can prove that that was there before that time frame, then you would have to assume that travel between the continents actually happened, right?
Yup.
I've heard Africans say it before. I've heard Africans say that there was travel and they traded with them. I don't know. I'm not
What do
saying
you
it couldn't
mean
have
you
happened.
don't know? What do you mean you saying it couldn't happen? It had
No, no,
to
no,
happen.
no. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that it did. I'm not saying that it did. What I'm saying is because history has been erased so much. You know what I'm saying? And once these people come
No,
around, it's
it
hard to
wasn't
track
that
them.
the history was erased. It wasn't required for the standardized test for them to get the pieces of paper.
That's true. and that's a risky ass trip. That's a risky trip for anybody. You know, hurricanes. You just well, they may have known a little bit about it. I would only the natives in the Caribbean definitely they knew, but Columbus and them
We
man,
saw
they were
this. Okay,
about it.
this this is how science began. Okay, the same time last year while we were still here, we saw this cloud. A really bad storm came. So let's prepare this time against what happened last time. And then we know that by this time next year, we have to be somewhere else. Maybe we pick a better spot. When you think of it that way and realize that there was no pieces of paper required for that, you understand history wasn't lost. It just wasn't written down. Instead of
Some things
debating what really happened, we're debating who wrote what, when, and which pretty words did they use.
that's true. That's very true because a lot of things that some people feel is important to notate, it's not like that with other people. You know,
You know what? I forgot. I forgot. I was apologizing. I was apologizing. I was apologizing to your guest that was sitting here waiting for me to get it together. I'm sorry I was late today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I woke up to broccoli and coffee and what's that song that I like so much? Coffee in the Morning by Miguel. OMG. What?
oh, I forgot about that.
What? What? Don't let me be running around in my skivvies or my moo when that song be on while I got my coffee in the morning.
Man,
Oh, I'ma
he
be
came out so
fresh.
hard, it
I'ma be
cracked.
so fresh. Huh? Huh? What? I'm sorry. I was imagining and like I ain't paying attention.
No, what I was saying was, is he came out so smoking hot and just burnt out, just crashed. This is like he's like non-existent anymore. Like who the fuck's that? Who the fuck is that? Like I like his first two albums, and shit. But
But I
yeah,
still
his
like what I like. If it's still in if it still invokes the same character, hell, I'ma listen to that shit
he
till
just needs
the what
more.
the other song, the cows come home, the cows fly home. I don't know, Little Nas X, something about the cows and home.
But listen, he just needs more material. Like he probably got about 4 albums now, but the last two wasn't on. They weren't on that.
Right,
Because
because he
I was
couldn't
looking up.
identify anymore. He couldn't identify anymore. Either somebody locked it down or he gave up that life. But he can't identify with the one that did coffee in the morning. He a different human now.
Or I don't know. Maybe the new school Prince fad played out. But let me get back to the topic.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right. We had a topic. I'm sorry. I commercial break. That was a commercial break. Hey, that was a commercial break. That was a commercial break.
I'm gonna pull up something off of my favorite site, Chat GPT. Again, I don't wholeheartedly believe everything on Chat GPT. I like to make that be known. I just feel like it's a good way of finding the truth or getting to the truth, if that would be a better way of saying it.
Right, right. Getting to the truth.
So, the Mayan religion was a complex and deeply spiritual belief system practiced by the Maya civilization of Mesoamerica, which thrived from around 2000 BCE to the 16th century CE. It blended mythology, cosmology, ancestor worship, and ritual practices, and was deeply tied to nature, astronomy, and agriculture. The core beliefs consisted of polytheism. The Maya believed in many gods, often hundreds, each, each associated with elements of nature or human life. Itzama, god of creation, writing in the sky. Shak, which is the god of rain and storms. Kenichi of Wa, well, Agua. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. The sun god. Ixchil, goddess of fertility and medicine. Hun Hanapu, Mai's god, which sounds like a corn to me, symbolizing life and rebirth, duality. Many deities had dual aspects, male female, light dark, creation, destruction. Balance was essential. Three realms of the universe: heaven, 13, which had 13 layers; earth, where humans live; Xibalba, the underworld, ruled by death gods. The word tree, Seba, connected all three realms. Astronomy and calendars. The Maya had a sophisticated calendar system used for religious rituals. The Stocken is a 260-day sacred calendar, and the Hab, which is 365-day solar calendar. The long count tracked historical cycles through thousands of years. Astronomy was essential for knowing when to perform ceremonies, plant crops, and celebrate deities. The rituals and practices: bloodletting. Kings, queens, and priests would pierce their tongues or skin to offer blood to the gods. Human sacrifices, performed to appease gods, ensure rainfall, or dedicate new temples. Often prisoners of war or volunteers were sacrificed. I don't know who's going to volunteer, but that's another story. Offerings included jade, food, incense, and animals, presented during ceremonies or buried in temples. Shamanism, priests or shamans acted as mediators between humans and gods, often entering trances using hallucinogens. Temples and sacred spaces. Large pyramids and temples were built as places of worship and astronomical, oh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, observation. Cities like Takao, Pelakay, Chichen Itza, and Copan were major religious centers. Their sacred texts and myths. The Popol Vuh is a foundational Kichi Maya text describing the creation of the world. The hero twins, the Hanumpu and Zabalike, and the gods' stories emphasize cyclical time, death, and rebirth, and cosmic struggle. Connections to nature. The Maya deeply revered natural elements: sun, rain, corn, which I thought was earlier, animals, and stars, as they believed these were controlled or embodied by the gods. The maize god was especially important, as corn was a staple of life and a central mythological figure. Excuse me. So, I mean, a lot of the rituals and things I've heard are very close to some African spirituality and other rituals I heard from other Native American cultures. So, and besides the sacrificing, I wasn't aware of that.
Now, what if similarities are because when the Spanish pulled up, there were some black people on the boat when the Spanish pulled up. Now, just because the Spanish people didn't survive the first boat trip, does that mean that the black people in the same boat did not did 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 survive and just didn't have a boat to go back in? So they said, "Fuck it, let's end up somewhere," and ended up in the customs and gene pool of the term Maya was derived from the city of Mayapan, which was a prominent political and cultural center in the Yucatan Peninsula during the post-classic period of Maya civilization. Power moved from the southern lowlands like Takao to northern cities such as whatever. But the point I was getting ready to make was uh, Spanish colonizers and early European scholars adopted the name Maya to refer to the people and their culture. So all of that you just read on Wikipedia was written by the European scholars that pulled up with the Spanish. They had a crew that were probably paid staff. You know, they was gonna get their money when they got back. If they had got back, they would have got their money. That's how it worked back then. You signed on to the ship, and if you make it back to port, you get your pay and you go about your day. It pretty much works the same. Did I ever mention that I used to work for a staffing agency for the for the shipping container ships. Did I ever mention that? I never
No,
mentioned that.
no.
That was a hell of a job. Oh my goodness. It was like it was like putting a bunch of names in a hat and drawing out six names because they needed six people and then crossing your fingers that it all worked out. I said, what kind of HR is this? What the hell? What the hell, Leonte? I know I'm digressing in the thought process again, but I can't help it. I'm feeling kind of frisky today. I don't know why. I
So
have
look,
no idea.
I agree with what you said, but not for the reasons why you said it. And the reason why it's not for the reasons why you said it is because I was unaware of that. But the reason why I do agree with what you're saying is because did you hear what I said when I was reading? I said that sounds like corn. Do you know why that's not like why that word sounds like corn to me? Maize. It's because I
Why?
study. It's because I study Spanish. It's because I study Spanish. So as soon as I seen the word, subconsciously my brain said corn, and I didn't even think that's what it was. But to your point, that is a view of them writing that because there's no other way that you call it that without it being that, and you're the one who made the word, right? That's the only reason why I know that. Think about it. I didn't do no
And
studying on
then
this
and
before.
then the psychologists want to probe you through marketing to see if it's working.
Hmm. Exactly. But
Have
one
you
last thing.
been to your local porn site today? Have you been by your local porn site today? What is your favorite category? What titles can we fool you to click on so that you can get this spam entered into your system? Now, please don't have your wife and girlfriend clean your system, but if we clean it and we see something we don't like, we are required to call the police. Oh, and by the way, you know what? Remember when they used to develop pictures in the back of Kmart and stuff like that? You remember that? You would see them on the conveyor belt and stuff.
Hmm.
Well, did you ever see how many news stories were written about people who were developing the pictures and was like, what the heliante, and called the cops? You never seen
Oh
that?
no. Okay. Okay. So listen. Okay. I said yes. Yes. I think that when I said corn, you think I'm really talking about porn, right?
Uh huh.
No.
Right. And no, I didn't think that. You said that that you was talking about like how you hear corn, but you think, and that's what I was referring to. That was
Oh,
the
okay.
analogy I was making.
But,
Right.
but
I
yes, I
wasn't
do
I
know.
wasn't talking about the topic at all. Reggie, have you met me? It's me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.
I
It's me,
do
myself, and I.
remember people filing charges because they was. But to me, that's stupidity. That's dumb. What would make you think that a person can't see these actual pictures of you butt ass naked? Why are you doing that? Especially in those times. The technology nowadays is different, right? So nowadays I could see you possibly thinking that there wouldn't be some kind of human interaction in this shit, right? But you know, in the 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s, the early 2000s, you know that it's a person hand that is literally developing these motherfucking pictures, and you know it's a person hand that is putting these in the envelopes thing before they give them to you. You don't think they're looking at that shit? That's their pleasure. That's a perk of the job. You feel me?
What?
So that's just that's stupid. That's dumb.
But it was funny though when some of the people who got the jobs just got messy. Like they started telling like wives, like when they came to pick the pictures up, like this one. You really want to open this one.
Man, listen,
It was
that would
dropped off by your husband separately, but I'm giving it to you, his wife. Open it.
that would have been one hell of a. undercover side hustle back in the day.
What?
Man, you could get that
Uh,
shit sold
it
overseas.
a
Somebody the
side hustle that
negative.
started with what was her name? What was that
Hey,
online spiritualist? I can't think of her name. You reminded me once, and I can't think of it all of a sudden. I can't think of it. You reminded me once. Ah, never mind.
Cleo,
I,
Cleo.
yes, Cleo. Yes, yes. Cleo came from Ma Bell telephone. Like back in the day, everybody, you wanted your resume to get good enough so that you could work for Ma Bell telephone if you lived up there because you had a network that nobody else would ever experience if you had that job with Ma Bell telephone. You could get anything anywhere any day by just a whisper.
I'm emptying this bill, but not my bill. Telephone. I ain't into that.
Since the beginning of the telephone, people don't realize how far back the telephone goes. That's what I was looking up that day. That's why I can't find it. I've been going in the wrong notes. It was for a storyline. It wasn't for this. That's what happened. My
Was it
phone
that
has
day?
overheated, and that's why my camera can't show me right now. Because somehow my phone overheated because I left it sitting on the laptop instead of on the stand where it's supposed to be. But you'll be happy to know I actually finally ordered my setup. I did that. I finally did it. I finally did it.
I forgot what I was about to say.
I know. Ain't it wonderful? Ain't it wonderful?
Okay.
And this is what happens when people smoke with me. This is why I can't be on the internet. People should never smoke with me in the room. People should never have conversations with me in the room.
All
Never.
that all that means is for me to get back on topic. So I'm about to play a video real fast to let them explain somewhat in better terms than I obviously can.
August 14th, 3114 BC. Didn't they also say something about the world ending in 2012? Well, not exactly. In this video, we'll examine classic Maya religion, what the Maya believed about gods, ancestors, and their extremely complicated calendar. But first, who were the classic Maya? The word Maya actually refers to a diverse collection of ethnic groups from areas around Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. The word Maya itself was created after the arrival of the Spanish, based on the Yucatec city of Mayapan, but scholars collectively refer to these ethnic groups as Maya because they speak similar languages and share certain cultural and artistic traditions. The first Maya people probably came from the Cuchumatan Mountains in southwestern Guatemala and spread from there starting around 2000 BC. Today, more specific names for their own local languages and ethnic groups. That's right, the Maya never disappeared. Today, there are millions of Maya people that live across the Maya region, as well as in the United States. Therefore, when we speak about the Maya religion, we need to be more specific about which Maya religion, which specific Maya group, and at what specific time. Be familiar with Mendelssohn's movie Apoptygma, but it compresses features from several different time periods together, even though it's set at the time of Spanish contact in the 1500s. We're focusing on the Classic period, which lasted from around 250 to 900 CE, and will concentrate on the central region, called the Southern Lowlands, which at this time was dominated by speakers of the Mayan language we call Classic Choltian. We'll focus on this region because it was the most heavily populated during the Classic period, and therefore has the greatest amount of information about its society and culture. One final note before we continue.
They've taken this video down 3 times because it teaches you how to hit lottery tickets every week. Watch now while it's still up before they...
Sorry about that, y'all.
Maya is used both as a singular and plural noun to refer to the ethnic group, as in the phrase the classic Maya, as well as an adjective to refer to things related to the Maya, such as Maya religion. Scholars use the term Mayan with an N only as a noun or adjective to relate to the language, as in the Mayan language. So with all that terminology out of the way, let's get into it. The classic period took place before any contact with Europeans, but the classic Maya did not live in a vacuum. In fact, they interacted extensively with other Native American peoples. The culture region that stretches from northern Mexico to Costa Rica is often referred to as one of many Mesoamerican groups. The Maya shared religion and culture with others in this region and were integrated into a wider political and economic sphere. Careful viewers of this channel will notice lots of similarities between classic Maya religion and that of the Aztecs, another famous Mesoamerican group that we covered in a previous video. The Aztec Empire rose and fell centuries after the classic period that we're examining today. It was also located in central Mexico, to the rest of the Maya region. During classic empire based at the great city of Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan had an enormous influence on the classic Maya, and in fact, one important Maya god originated from there, the war serpent Huaxaclahun Ubacan. But today we'll focus on the Maya themselves. Unlike the Aztec or the people of Teotihuacan, the Maya of the classic period did not belong to a single empire. Instead, divided into many small independent kingdoms, including each with their own religious customs. Some of these kingdoms were powerful enough to dominate others through strategic alliances, marriages, and economic exchange. But even the most successful Maya kingdoms did not become an empire. In other words, they did not incorporate their subordinates into larger territorial units. Instead, the political Maya landscape remained fragmented. Another important feature of the classic period was the blossoming of Maya hieroglyphic writing, which had first developed in the period of
I want to pause it right there for a second. And the reason why is because I was not aware.
Aware of.
Hold on. I got technical difficulties, though. Lost my screen.
Just a second. 1,000. 1,000.
Just a second.
Just a second. Hold on.
Hold on.
You could do it. Right.
That's what I get for putting my shit in my room instead of having it where it belongs.
Don't nobody need to know that. What? Technical difficulties. It happens. Leave me alone.
Okay. I'm back.
Leave me
That's
alone.
Let me get my information back.
It happens. Leave me alone. Andre 3000. What? Say, I'm sorry. That's right. We're not talking about people today. We're not talking about people. No.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it back. Yeah, I got problems now because I don't know how to put it back with the rest of the fucking tabs I had up. So, oh well. Where was I at anyway? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the hieroglyphics. I definitely remember now. So the reason why I paused it is because I was unaware that other civilizations other than Egyptians or primarily Africans use hieroglyphics, right? So that just, to me, that's strange. That's very, very strange and interesting at the same time. And I really despise the pretendian ideology. I really do.
You can't keep books without hieroglyphics. Everybody started with hieroglyphics. The alphabet started as hieroglyphics.
That's true, because hieroglyphics is just a fancy term of symbolism, right?
Right.
But the fact that you just got pyramids, right? And you got hieroglyphics in them, right?
Right.
That's strange, man. That's strange. I'm not saying that
because they use those pictorials to tell their story. The Mayans use these pictorials to tell their story. Now, here's the thing. The Mayans who did the pictorials wouldn't tell the colonizing, what did I call them? Scholars, wouldn't tell the scholars what the fuck they meant. So they would ask the children, do you know what that means? And the child would say, yeah, that means such and such. And the scholar would write it down. Like, I got it. I figured it out. I know what it means. You know, I'm smart.
Yeah, but you don't think that's a little bit too much of a coincidence?
It's overly much. You couldn't have commerce moving cargo without some form of symbolism that was agreed upon, saying this is our shit. Whether you brand it in, whether you stamp it on, you remember the crack wars. Like you know, if you was selling our stuff, they was branding it, and that's how they started getting caught, because they wanted to brand their shit, which was. But anyway, I'm different subject, different that. But the point is, everybody wants to stamp what's theirs, so they can see how far it goes. Like that's the whole point of marketing. This is our shit. So when you see this mark, you know you getting our shit.
Give you that. But are there pyramids in like up the coastline, the
Everywhere.
west coastline? Like
Everywhere. Everywhere.
what would be
Everywhere.
California, Alaska,
Everywhere.
Canada?
I know nobody
I'm
likes
gonna have to
doom
look into
scrolling,
that.
but the planet been here for millennia, and I know nobody likes doom scrolling, but the planet been here for millennia. The land has changed because it shakes. Rain brings changing of waterways. Been here for millennia. There's shit
And you
under there.
interfere.
Right, thank you. Not everything got written down. It didn't get written down until these quote unquote scholars arrived on shorelines and started asking, hey, what's this mean? Hey, what's that mean? What's this mean? And I'm going to write it in my language and send it back to my people. And they was writing the shit wrong. And them volunteers that they said was for sacrifice, they weren't volunteers. They was just standing on business and wasn't going to change their story. You know how, like, you know, sometimes you go to jail here in the Americas over a ticket, a traffic ticket, because you be like, that's not what happened. I'm standing on business. I don't care. Well, we're going to throw you in jail for 10 days. Bitch, let me do my 10 days, because no, that's not what happened.
I didn't believe that. Nobody's about to volunteer to unalive themselves. No, don't nobody do that. That's no different than the way the tax laws is written in this country, right? Like they try to make it seem like you're volunteering to pay taxes. No, I'm not.
No.
No, the fuck
First
I'm
thing
not.
I did when
Not knowingly.
they asked me on day one of my first job to fill out that tax form, I said, "What is this for?" And they explained it to me, and I was like, "Well, I'm I'm not 18, so I don't understand why that would apply to me." And they were like, "Oh, well, you would just write exempt." Well, why didn't you just tell me to write exempt? Why'd you tell me, here, fill this out? Oh, I can't tell you what to put on your tax form. What?
That's a stand.
I'm looking at, so wait a minute. Already you telling me you do not have my best interest at heart. I ain't even signed the paper on board paperwork yet, but you already telling me you ain't got my best interest at heart.
Nope. They just trying to get themselves out of some shit.
And so I knew from day one, this ain't gonna work for me. I need cash. Now, when I found myself taking cash and putting it on a card so then I could go buy money, I knew there was something wrong in the world. I had to reassess. But other than that, how's it hanging? How's it hanging? How's it hanging? Like I said, character development. Character development. Oh, they have found ancient civilization cities in New Mexico on people's lands. They're not in the history book. You know how many people went digging in their backyard to put in a koi pond and found that they lived on top of a whole nother house with caves and back doors and fresh waterways.
True. January.
You know how many? You know how many Freemasons have opened up lodge houses off of finding an ancient mound that everybody forgot was there and saying, "Hey, this is now my lodge number whatever, whatever, whatever. We have put a plaque here. It's ours. We get to make it up as we go along. Send us your first 300. Be a founding father of lodge, whatever number this is."
The dumbest idea to me is a graveyard because I mean, how long are they going to be there?
Oh man, when I found out that they was recycling the caskets, and when I found out that people is out here suing right now because they don't know if they really got granddaddy's ashes, like they want to provide DNA proof that they really got grandma's ashes. I said, y'all all stupid. All of y'all fell for that shit. All of y'all stupid. But I ain't gonna lie. When I started seeing uh, remember there was a trend where people was dumping uh, uh, people's ashes out of windows and stuff because they was mad. Do you remember that trend? I think it started on Facebook.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, I ain't gonna lie. Now that made me laugh because I said, "Oh, you better hope they switch them ashes out. You better hope that's not really they their loved one."
It
And
don't
you,
make no difference
oh,
one way or the other. That ain't even your ashes for.
it really don't. You're
Big
paying
bone.
for a service. You're paying for the preservation of ash. What ash they give you is is neither here nor there. You contracted them to give you ash. You have ash. You can sue them all day long, but at the end of the day, you got what you paid for.
But really, it's bone anyway. But let me play this real quick.
I know you can't see me, but that's the response. You can't see me, and I apologize. I gotta remember that I'm in character. I must use my voice. And for commercial break, right now, everybody, pay attention. Listen, so I can find the lock.
That remain invisible for earlier periods, simply due to the lack of evidence. In addition to these carved monuments, we can learn about classic Maya religion through archaeological excavations and through artwork depicting Maya religious rituals. Moreover, we can gain some insights by examining Maya religious practices in later periods, such as after Spanish contact. Yet we need to be careful when we use these sources because Maya religion, like Maya religion, gods, ancestors, and the calendar. The classic Maya word for god was Kuh. The classic Maya worshipped lots of gods, each of which could take on different local traits in different kingdoms. Today we know the names of many Maya gods, but even just 40 years ago, they were much more of a mystery. This ambiguity led the scholar Paul Schellhas to create an index of Maya gods in 1910, labeling each god or goddess with a letter of the alphabet in his work, Representation of Deities of the Maya Manuscripts. These labels are still used for some of the lesser understood gods. But in most cases, once we know the proper name of the god, we use that name instead of the Schellhas label. In many cases, Maya gods were identified with natural phenomena. For example, some of the most prominent gods of the classic Maya pantheon include the sun god, Ka'inich Ahau, the rain god, Chak, the god of lightning, Ka'awil, and the
Oh no, technical difficulties? Is that what that is? Technical difficulties? Oh, they're gonna try to put a commercial in there about a video game that I ain't gonna go play. I play The Sims. I play The Sims. Who wants to be my
and the maize
Sim
god,
Sky
Ishim.
Daddy?
The classic Maya venerated goddesses as well, especially the goddess of the moon, but goddesses were depicted and mentioned far less often than male gods. The Maya wove mythic narratives about these gods, which are depicted on painted pots, carved in stone, and described in hieroglyphic texts. Some of these narratives we can reconstruct, others are fragmented or unknown. One myth, for example, includes the death and raising of the maize god. As we can reconstruct it, the maize god died and was buried. His soul journeyed to a underworld in a canoe, which was ruled by the god we simply label God El. Next, the maize god's twin sons journeyed to the underworld to find their father, where they resurrected him as a maize plant. Together, maize god and his
I don't believe any of it anymore. Any of it. Any of it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let me tell you why. He said the God L, and then he keep on talking about this maize God, which just means fucking corn in Spanish. I don't believe none of it. None of it. It's tampered deliberately. Them two Spanish words right there. There's no
There you
fucking
go.
way. No way.
There you go. There you go.
No.
Nothing but a horn dog. What was that, Big Mama
That,
Thornton?
that definitely, that definitely was some BS right there. That's too much right there. You had
Can you
that's
imagine
definitely
being the
influence
Karen?
of Abrahamic religion.
Can you imagine being the Karen back in the day that got to rewrite the songs for the Caucasian American music bandstand? Like every time the black kids got a song during that time, somebody's job was to sit there and rewrite the same song so that me, mom, and grandpa wouldn't get mad when the kids heard it on the radio. I mean, we call it gospel today. You ready for a revolution? Oh, let me stop bringing people up. That's not right. That's not right. I don't know these people. They don't know me. Let me be quiet.
So the perfect example is what's the name of that movie? Uh, it had Vivica Fox in it. It was about Frankie Lemon or whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh, why
That
do
was the perfect.
fools fall in love? Why do be? Oh, they did that man so dirty. But you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
He wasn't so
He
hot.
did.
That would have never happened.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm just saying. But but I ain't gonna lie. I thought Lola had that one on lock. I thought she did. I thought she did. I thought she did. I didn't I didn't know she was dumb enough to give him the checkbook and the keys. I ain't know she did that.
But I just the main thing that sticks out from that movie, besides the cast, is just the expressions on their face when they fucking sing it in black. But it's just crazy. Like me listening to it, being black, it's like I don't care how you sing that fucking song. I don't see how you can't tell that a black person wrote it, or it's a
Right?
something that we sing. I mean, it's easy for me to say that now, but probably around that time, a lot of the songs, was like that. You know,
How did
and they
they
probably
get Chuck Berry? How did they get Chuck Berry? What is the one way they got Chuck Berry? It wasn't the weed. It wasn't the contracts. How did they get Chuck Berry? Man, when I found out, I was mad. I was like, y'all should have like broke the jail down. Like that ain't even right. That ain't even right. It's kind of like somebody being in the that industry that the word maze makes you think of. It's like somebody being in that industry, getting paid their $800, and then finding out who they working with, and being like, nah, now I need more. No, contract said 800. You, we described the scene. We told you what was going to happen, and no, we're not giving you more.
it's crazy. But
I'm
like,
going to sue. I'm going to do it anyway, your way. But then afterwards, I'm going to sue.
I just wish they would have used their leverage. That's what they could have did. But again, it's easy for me
Oh,
to sit down.
great. Did you ever watch that TV series? It was on a little known network that you had to have cable so that you could watch it on rerun. But now
But
it's on streaming. Leverage. It was actually called Leverage. OMG. Better than Ocean's 11 and all of that. Way better. I mean, you could. I'm so sick of doing people
I'm
redoing
talking
Ocean's
about if
11.
you're the star and you're the one who got that pin at that time. I feel like you could have leveraged the situation a little bit better with the okay, well, either you give me this or I don't do it. Then what you gonna do? You know?
Right. And there have been people who did that and they didn't do it. But the
Rick,
thing is, the person who replaced them didn't get no credit. You see that they
yeah, so
replaced them basically
always
for
talk that
free.
ass. sometimes, you know. But it's again, it's easy for me to say that now, looking back.
But that's what hindsight is for. I mean, if you want to make notations through history on these are things we should remember, maybe we should remember some of the other shit that was going on around it at the same time. I'm just throwing shit out there. I mean, I'm trying not to lie today. I'm trying my best. Now, after I have my drink that I have every intention of getting to when we finish this today, I'm a, I'm gonna go online and see if I can hear other people lying. I want to hear some lies today. I can't tell no lies, but I can listen to them. I can listen. I'm a troll, and I like it. I'm a troll, and I like it. But you got to be my friend. Oh, Spice
I'm going to
Girls.
just tab back to my other shit because I'm not gonna be able to. Now I got two whole separate fucking tabs. I'm trying to add this tab back to the other information and shit that I got so I can read from it and y'all can see it. But I forget how to
See,
do it. It's been so
see,
long since I
see,
had to.
see, see. With this character, you can't depend on me to be serious and keep you focused. I like you not focused. I like topics that just keep changing all over the damn place. And you can't see me
I
right
gotta
now,
quit.
but I'm being fresh. I'm being so fresh right now. Oh, but this is the character, Sammy. Everybody, we are working on character development today. Please, by no means, feel that if I ever uh, come into your spaces on that application called the Tick and the Top, please do not believe that you will get the same character. This one is in development, cannot be bought and paid for quite yet. But, but, if you ask for my cash app, I ain't got no problem bringing a surprise visit by. I mean, I can do a drive by. I can do a drive by. I can do a drive by. About 20 minutes or so. How many commercial breaks do you want? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. We back on task. We back on task.
So you can finish. I just was putting the other tab on here. I just canceled the other ones out and just
Nah,
added this one. That's
nah,
all.
nah, nah, nah. You not blaming me for this running over. My cup floweth over right now, but my camera can't see it. So might as well enjoy the visuals.
All right, let me read a little bit. This is according to Wikipedia, my second favorite source. That's not 100% accurate either. The traditional Maya or Mayan religion of the extant Maya peoples of Guatemala, Belize, Western Honduras. I'll mess it up again. Technical difficulties. Give me a second. Western Honduras and the Tabasco, Chiapas, Quintana Roo, Campeche, and Yucatan states of Mexico is part of the wider frame of Mesoamerican religion. As is the case with many other contemporary Mesoamerican religions, it results from the centuries of symbolism with Roman Catholicism. When its pre-Hispanic antecedents are taken into account, however, traditional Mayan religion has already existed for more than 2.5 millennia as a recognizably distinct phenomenon. Before the advent of Christianity, it was spread over many indigenous kingdoms, all with their own local traditions. Today, it coexists and interacts with Pan-Mayan synchronism, the reinvention of tradition, Pan-Mayan movement, and Christianity is in its various denominations. Sources of tradition for the Mayan religion. The most important source of traditional Mayan religion is the Mayans themselves. The incumbents of positions within the religious hierarchy, diviners, and tellers of tales. More generally, all those persons who shared their kingdom with outsiders in the past, as well as anthropologists and historians who studied them and continue to do so. What is known of pre-Hispanic Maya religion stems from heterogeneous sources, the primary ones being of Maya origin. Primary sources from pre-Hispanic times, the three surviving Maya hieroglyphic books, the Maya codices of Dresden, Madrid, and Paris, which I don't believe this, plus the Maya Toltec roller condics, all dating from the post-classic period after 900 AD. The ceramic codex, the corpus of pottery scenes and texts, and mural paintings, the inscriptions in stone from the classic 200 to 900 AD and late pre-classic 200 BC through 200 AD periods. Primary sources from the early colonial 16th century period, such as the Popol Vuh, the ritual of the Bacabs, and at least in part the various Shalam Balam books. Secondary sources from the early colonial 18th century period, such as the, well, I read that. Secondary sources, chiefly Spanish treatises from the colonial period, such as those of Landa for the lowland Mayas and the Las Cacas for the highland Mayas, but also lexicons such as the early colonial Motul, Yucatec, and Koto, which is the, I'm not even going to stumble through that, dictionaries, anthropological, ethnographic, and iconical studies, anthropological reports published since the late 19th century, used in combination with the sources above. Their fundamental rituals, traditional Mayan religions, though also representing a belief system, is also referred to as custom bread, the custom or habitual religious practice, in contradictions to Orthodox Roman Catholic rituals. To a large extent, Mayan religion is indeed a complex of ritual practices, and it is therefore fitting that the indigenous Yucatec village priest is simply called Jamin, which is practitioner. Among the main concepts relating to Maya rituals are the following ones. I'm only going to read like the top parts of it: ritual, topography, and calendarical mapping, pilgrimage in Mayan society, offering and sacrifices of the Mayans, purification, prayer, and priesthood would be something separate. But right there, I'm gonna stop. And the reason why I'm gonna stop is because I'm thirsty, and also because I feel like while reading it's so much of the Spanish influence intertwined with it that it's hard to tell what part is true and what part is not.
And remember now when I don't know if it was the Portuguese or the Spanish Isabella. I'm pretty sure it was the Portuguese Isabella was a child when these scholars were making this up, and she was very mad that they didn't send her the amount of gold that she asked for. She was very mad. So she wasn't in favor of their history being factual. It was more like, um, y'all pissing me off because I'm telling you I need gold from y'all. I don't need maize. Don't send me no more maize. We don't give a fuck about the maize. I want gold. I need gold so I can give it to these people over here to build me some ships so that I can take my army over here and whoop some ass. But she was a child.
I can understand that. And at that point, I don't think that it's an unfair request. Man, listen, I've heard stories, and even though this is slightly deviating from it, but I've heard stories, and I don't know if they're true because obviously I wasn't there, that when they got over here to the Caribbean, there was big ass pieces of silver on the beach. I know that all the rivers here had to been loaded with gold. They had to. They had
Right? Because
to at that
we,
point.
we
So
considered it junk. To us it was junk metal. Like if it wasn't copper, like it was junk metal to us. It just and we never it wasn't a big mining thing because we didn't use very much of it. We didn't anyway. It wasn't in the pipes and everything like that. We used it for what we used it for. Didn't need that much. Now they mine it
right.
like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but somehow they still need you to pay taxes so that they can pay the governmental employees.
I
I
mean,
don't.
I wonder why it's always been so valuable. I mean, I know they made jewelry with it, but what was
What,
the
the
time
copper?
period? No. Copper has. I see why copper's valuable. Copper has a
No.
lot of very You can use it for a lot of shit. Listen, everything that we're talking is copper in every electronic device we have. Right? So I could see the need for that, right? But
Right.
I never know like why gold has always been the metal of choice for that.
Oh, because it was the most abundant and easiest to identify at the time. Like, remember, fool's gold pisses a lot of people off because it's ferrite. It's not gold, but it looks very similar if you don't have a keen eye to gold before it's mined, separated, polished, and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm digressing in the thought process. You know, you should have to do that one time. Go work in a lab with precious metals. Do you know what they make you do? Oh my gosh. You have to go
Strip.
in and strip and put on like a no. Actually that was for food. The stripping and looking like a giant Q-tip, that was for food. But for metalwork, uh yes, you had to be wanded, inspected, like basically a pat down every day before you came in. Anything that could hold
I
it
get
or hide it
it.
couldn't be on the lab.
I get it because they think you're gonna sell it. There's still a couple ounces of that shit. You good to go. You know.
Right.
So you got to.
But what pissed us off was how extra special and diligent they were with some people, and the person who actually got caught had been with the company for 10 years. And no, they didn't just decide after 10 years. They literally got caught because they just got too greedy.
Right. They've been doing it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole 10 years. The whole 10 years. And my favorite was uh was technology, the processors. Man, them processors was little, but they was sensitive, so you couldn't just slide them in a sock or a shoe or something like that. But man, if you could get them out, what, easy. Throw it, throw it with anything. But you got that processor, sell that bitch real quick, real easy, cheap.
So I'm probably gonna end this stream a little early today. I mean, it's been an hour. I would have to
Right,
say
right,
the
right.
overall
I'm sorry. I'm
we're
sorry.
talking
Did I get
about.
off topic again? I'm sorry. I be bad like that. I do.
No, you're good. You're good. I just got my phone. So I would say overall, though, when it comes to the particular religion that I chose today to talk about, the Mayan religion, that's a little bit too broad of a statement. It's a collection of different beliefs that changed over time that had a heavily influence today. It's heavily influenced by Spanish, period. Um, so I can't really take this as valid because there was a time period about 500 years ago, maybe 550, before the Spanish, Portuguese, or anybody you want to call from that area had actually touched down. But with the words and the way it's worded, and with their belief system, again, I think it's been too tarnished to actually be able to go back to that spiritual belief because it's Christianized. What's your thought?
I don't even know why anybody would be looking in a book for belief. Is not belief defined as your imagination? I'm trying. The definition of the word is the belief of your imagination. So why would you be looking for belief in a book?
I mean, I could speak, from what I hear other people say when using
Okay,
other religions,
understood.
from other areas. Like, okay, well, we just going back to our traditional beliefs. I get it, but this one, it's not good because
Right.
it's too tainted.
Really not. It's terrible. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. Terrible. Can you imagine the atrocities done by her military that she kept sending back for gold and it kept coming back with maize? Can you imagine a child being mad? Can you imagine what them same people did when they were like, I can't go back without gold. I gotta find gold somewhere and bring it back. Even if I gotta go steal gold off somebody else's boat, I can't go back without gold.
Especially dealing with people that don't know how to mine it. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm probably gonna go on TikTok a little bit later, start a little bit of trouble, keep some shit going.
Oh,
Thank you
can I
everybody for
follow you around
stopping
on
by.
TikTok today? Can I follow you? Oh, please, 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 please.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for stopping by as always, NJ. Your help is definitely needed. Thank you, Ouija666 and Kindness, and everybody else for stopping by. I'm about to cut on the music, and I'm out.